else.
Rome is the time.
48 weeks later.
48.
48 weeks later. Um, it's a god awful film. It was released in 2007, trying to capitalize obviously on 28 days and 28 weeks later. And I think it had another name at some point. It was one of these films that, because often, I don't know if you've spotted this, you probably have, where sometimes, let's say, Dune is coming out and suddenly other versions of Dune are on the shelves in the supermarkets.
Oh, yeah, because people want to watch them.
Exactly. Well, they'll do similar things with other films, but they'll take really...
Yeah.
So when Lara Croft was about to come out in the cinema, the most recent Lara Croft, they released something... Oh, what was it called? It was The Curse of the Dragon Tomb or something. And that was just terrible. They repackaged it, renamed the film. So on IMDb, it's got 2 different names at least, and released it on DVD to look like a Lara Croft film. And I think I can't remember what the character. I'm gonna have to quickly look up what the character's name is, because this will just make you probably your eyes will roll so hard you'll do a backflip, I think. So Tomb of the Dragon. So that film, it was released as Tomb Invader to take advantage of the upcoming Tomb Raider, and the archaeologist in it. So you have Indiana Jones. This was Alabama Channing. It has a score of around 2.6 on IMDb, but actually it was initially released under the names of alternate names of, and this is where Dragon Tomb came in. The Tomb, Heart of the Dragon. And also, it's also known as Tomb Hunter as well. So Tomb Invader, Tomb Hunter, and the Heart of... So when they repackage those sorts of films and just sort of serve them up, I find that quite insulting, actually. But also that was from Asylum. So Asylum, the people who did obviously Sharknado, and one of my all-time favorite guilty pleasures TV series, in terms of, I suppose you could call it horror, but it's more like horror comedy, would be Z Nation.
All right, yeah. I still haven't watched that.
But it's fascinating to me that Z Nation can exist in the same production sphere as a film like Tomb Invader. It's just such a bad film, 48 weeks later, in that sort of spirit, is taking advantage of a trend, and it's a film that was released in 2007. It's just, again, god awful. It opens with a meteor flying through space in a badly rendered CG shot. Apparently, this meteor crashes into the ground and leaves a crater about the size of perhaps our dog Indy. A little crater in the ground, and apparently this little rock that's then left in the ground after a massive explosion has on it a zombie virus that people start to be infected by.
Well, obviously,
duh.
What else was it going to contain?
The shot.
Not that the heat would have killed it.
No, exactly. The heat. Yeah, but it's not. It's not like they're tardigrades or something. They're just a virus. But I think what I find interesting is that, and again, this is where we come back to this notion of a horror movie being a good first film, because it will highlight your weaknesses and your strengths. And if you're attuned to that, if you have a good production team around you, or if you're actually looking to put out something that's good, then it will highlight this for you and help you achieve that. In so much as this film, when you're watching it, it's really hard to put your finger on why it's really bad. It is bad. It's all bad. The effects are bad. The acting's bad. Everything is bad. But you go, why does it feel so drawn out? Even though it's quite a short runtime, even though they don't have much to say. The actors don't have much to say, but the scenes are all really long, and it's because the editing is just utterly terrible. It's one of those things where
I think that's the biggest problem about it, is the editing's bad.
I think so. And you have camera shots that linger just a beat or two too long on a character, when almost the actor has said what they need to say and they're kind of about to stop acting. There's that kind of, and you have stilted conversations. And it feels as though, in the right hands, with the right editing, you could turn that into a really good, bad film. And this is the realm of horror, isn't it? Where you can have good good
Bad
objective.
movies, like yeah,
So things like eight-legged freaks. That's a film
yeah,
which is designed to be good bad in that sense,
yeah.
but I think sometimes you can just have
So
terrible
is that the
films.
thing that annoys you then? It's like the idea that this is a film that's wasted potential. Like if somebody recut it, you'd have something there that was worth watching.
I think so. Yeah, if someone recut it, if someone just thought a little bit about, uh, about the way in which tension is built in a scene. So like, there's a scene where, and again, it's a very small. So the box is meteor crashes to Earth and like fireballs hitting a city. The story really takes place in one little block, one small neighborhood,
Mhm.
where I think there's a drug or a gun deal is going down. I watched it once. I watched it once, hungover
Are we in
with
the
my brother.
hood?
We're in the hood, exactly. We're in the hood, and zombies are invading. Um, and there's this scene where it's clear that the two sides of this deal don't trust each other, but there's lots of, again, just drawn out kind of, I don't know, the sort of stuff that maybe in an anime might work, where you have these slightly elongated moments of tension. But
Okay.
when it's filmed, and when it's filmed with the music and the lighting that it's been given in this instance, it feels like it's just going on forever, even though no one's got anything to say. That sort of, as you say, wasted potential. I've heard it said that if any piece of art, frankly, makes you really, really passionately argue against it, then maybe it's got something going for it. And in this instance, I don't think I'm passionate against it. I'm just insulted by it. That's what I mean by it. It's just it's a very mediocre film that's riding on the back of another franchise that leaves me just unimpressed. I didn't feel really anything watching it. I knew what I was meant to feel. I think that's what bugged me the most, was I knew exactly what they were trying to make me do and feel. It was not working, so I think within the realm of horror, you have scope for that kind of problem, don't you? Where sometimes a bad
Mm,
horror film will be awful, and often it'll be
yeah.
a straight to DVD, or now obviously straight to streaming kind of situation. And presumably, though, that must be good for production, in so much as, especially these days, if you don't have to pay for a print run on DVDs, at the very least, you've got, as it were, content, inverted commas, for your streaming service. You can just chuck it on Amazon or something, and you can say, "Oh, we've
Mm.
got 5,000 films,"
Exclusive.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
Because nobody else wants it.
Oh God, yeah, exclusive, yeah.
So
So
good.
I wouldn't. Uh, I mean, oddly enough, actually, I made in my other capacities as an archaeologist, in my job, I actually made a bit of a review of Tomb Invader, and actually the main actor or actress, sorry, actor, she turned up in the comments and said, "Thank you for this. It was really funny." Like breaking down, and she actually ended up talking about how, on the one hand, it was a really awful experience because it was just such a bad movie, but also she loved the fact that you could seriously watch it and just go, what?
Well,
So
that's so nice she got in contact with
it
you.
was nice. It was very nice. Yeah, yeah.
My realm is the present.
Time.